Okay, next problem. 24th. Integral sine square x dx. Limits are mentioned here 0 to pi by 2. Here these limits belongs to x value. That's why x is equal to 0 to x is equal to pi by 2. It is given. What is its value? First, is it definite integration or indefinite integration? Definite integration. Okay, so how we can do integration of y, how we can find integration of sine square x dx? Okay, this is equal to here integral sine square x. Directly for sine square x we are not having integration formula, but sine square x can be written as, yesterday I think we did this problem without limits. I think 1 minus cos 2x whole by 2, isn't it? Can't we write like this? Sine square x can be written as 1 minus cos 2x whole by 2. No, we can write now. Already yesterday we did this problem, I think. Okay, into dx is there, so you write dx. Limits are there from x equal to 0 to x is equal to 90. Okay, now 2 is constant, you write outside 1 by 2 into integral 0 to pi by 2 into 1 minus cos 2x into dx. This is equal to 1 by 2 into, now you tell me of integration what you will get. Integral 1 into dx means integral dx. Integral dx means x, very good, minus integral cos 2x dx. Integral cos 2x dx. Integral cos 2x dx means sin 2x whole by the coefficient of x is 2. That's why here you have to write 2. Okay, sin 2x by 2. No, Daksha, what about integral cos 2x? Daksha, what about integral cos 2x? Daksha, you respond in chat box. Daksha, I'm asking Daksha. Okay, sin 2x by 2. Okay, right. Integral cos 2x dx is equal to sin 2x by 2. Okay, limits are there. X is equal to 0 to pi by 2. So this is equal to 1 by 2 into, first upper limit you have to substitute. Pi by 2. Pi by 2 you have to write as it is. Instead of x, we have to write pi by 2 minus 1 by 2 into sin 2x. That means sin 2 into x means pi by 2. 2 cancel. Sin pi. Sin pi is 0, no? 0. So you keep in brackets. Next, we have to substitute lower limit. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Minus r. Instead of x, again you substitute 0. Minus sin 2 into 0. Sin 0. 0. 0 by something 0. That's why 0. That's all. So this is equal to 1 by 2 into pi by 2 minus 0. It is totally 0. Pi by 2 only. That is equal to pi by 4. No. So here it is equal to pi by 4. Therefore, integral of sine square x dx between the limits x is equal to 0 to x equal to pi by 2 is equal to pi by 4. This is the answer. Okay. In this way, you have to write. Okay. Next here. Right. One more problem. (46). What is the formula for here? When if a force of capital F acts on a body so that it displaces the body through a distance s, then what is the work done by the force on a body? Based on the previous knowledge, you tell me. A constant force F acts on a body so that it displaces the body through a distance s. Then what is the formula for work done? Because displacement and force applied both are in the same direction. That's why in such case, Fs cos 0, that means Fs only, no? That is the case whenever force acts on a body is constant. But here we are given a force F is related to the position of a particle by the relation F is equal to 10x square Newton. F is equal to 10x square Newton is given. The work done by the force when a particle moves from x is equal to 2 meter to x is equal to 4 meter. What is the work done? They asked. Here, a force 10x square Newton acts on a body, displaces the body from 2 meter to 4 meter along the direction of applied force. Then what is the work done? They asked. Actually, if the force acts on a body is constant, simply when force acts on a body is constant, then force into displacement of a body is equal to work done. Displacement means from 2 meter to 4 meter means 4 minus 2. 2 meter displacement it has covered. Because suppose it is x-axis, here x equals 0, here 2 meter, here it is 4 meter. The particle travel from x is equal to 2 meter to 4 meter means up to this only. Then what is the displacement? 4 minus 2, 2. 2 meter is the displacement. Net displacement is 2 meter. From x is equal to 2 meter to x is equal to 4 meter, if the force acts on a body is constant, then simply force into displacement 4 minus 2. That gives the answer directly. But here, the force acts on a body when it travels from x equal 2 to x equal 4 is not constant because force varies with x. If x increases, force acts on a body also increases. That's why variable force acts on the body. When variable force acts on a body, we should not write simply F into x is the work done or F into delta x is the work done. Okay, that's why we have to take small work done. Suppose at a distance x from the origin, at a distance x from the origin, the force acts on a body F is equal to 10 into x square because at a distance x, the force acts on a body equal to 10x square. Okay, with this force, the body displaces through a small distance, say dx. For the small distance or for the small displacement, there is no considerable change in the force acts on a body. Okay, that's why for the small displacement, as force can be treated as constant, then small work done dw is equal to F into dx we can write. Okay, here it is the work done to displace the body through a small distance dx by applying this force. But when you consider the large distance, now we cannot write like this. For the large distance, we should not write F into x2 minus x1 in such a way we cannot write. Okay, for the large distance, how we can find? Whenever the variable force acts on a body, in such case, for the small distance, you find the work done. Okay, then to obtain the total work done in displacing the body from x is equal to 2 to x is equal to 4 meter, you integrate. It is a small work done to displace the body through a distance dx. To displace the body from x equal 2 to x equal 4, what is the total work done? Means integral dw. That is total work done. Limits x is equal to 2 to x is equal to 4. So this is equal to integral x equal to 2 to 4. F means 10x square into dx. So this is equal to 10 is constant, you write outside into what about integration of x square with respect to x? Integration of x square is how much? Integration of x square is x cube by 3, no? Because x to prof, when you do integration, power will be increased by 1. So it becomes 3. Now whatever the power you will get here, you have to write in the denominator. Limits 2 to 4 are there. That's why 2 to 4. So 10 into x cube means first you have to substitute the upper limit. Instead of x, when you substitute 4 cube. 4 cube means 4 into 4 into 4. That means 64, no? By 3. Before substituting lower limit, you put minus sign. Instead of x, you have to substitute 2. 2 cube means 8. 8 by 3. So this is equal to 10 by 3 into, because 3 we can take LCM, 10 by 3 into 10 by 3 into 64 minus 8 means 56, no? Therefore, work done W is equal to 56 into 10, 560 by 3. Here all data is given in SI system, that means Newton, meter, etc. That's why in SI system, work done is measured in joules, no? Capital J symbol. So this is the answer. In this way, you have to do. I think you could understand when we had to use the integration method. I think you could understand now. Because when variable force acts on them, by integration method, we can do. Okay. Next. One more point. One more problem. #47. Integral g capital M small m by x square into dx. Limits capital R to, that means x is equal to capital R to infinity. What is this value? Here g capital M small m are constant. Actually, in case of planetary system, this formula we'll get. Okay, capital G is the universal gravitational constant, capital M is the mass of the sun, small m is the mass of the planet. Of course, whatever the values, they are constant, that is given. GMM is all are constant, they said. That's why you can write outside the integration directly. Okay, you write outside. So this is equal to G capital M small m, you write outside, integral of x is equal to capital R to infinity 1 by x square dx. Suppose if you are having 1 by x dx, then we can write ln x. But here it is 1 by x square. That's why you write in the numerator, you bring this denominator term to numerator so that it becomes x to the power of minus 2 no. Okay, into dx. So dx. Now, what is the integration value? Tell me. GMM into, after integration, what you will get? After integration, only x to the power of n dx is there. Integral x to the power of n dx. It is just like that. Okay, when you do integration, then you will get power must be raised by 1. That's why x to the power of minus 2 plus 1 by whatever the power you will get, you have to write power here minus 1, because minus 2 plus 1 means minus 1 only, no? Limits r to infinity. So this is equal to g capital M small m into, here it is x to the power of minus 1, means minus 1 by x you will get, no, r to infinity. Because minus 1 is there, here you will get x to the power of minus 1. So 1 by minus 1 into x to the power of minus 1 means 1 by x. So minus 1 by x we can write now. Now you substitute the limits. G capital M small m into, first upper limit you substitute, minus 1 by x means infinity. Before substituting lower limit, you had to put minus sign. Minus of already minus is there. So you'll get plus 1 by, instead of x, you write capital R. Therefore, here this value, integral capital Z capital M small m by x square dx, limits r to infinity, is equal to, what you will get? 1 by something by infinity is 0, no? That's why you will get GMM into 1 by r. That means G capital M small m by capital R. So this is the integration value. In this way, we have to do. Okay, what is d by dx of pi square? What is d by dx of pi square? D by dx of pi square is equal to how much? D by dx of pi square. Pi is the constant, no? Pi is constant. That's why differentiation of pi square with respect to any variable, whether it is x, y, z, whatever it may be, that is equal to 0 only. Okay. Next. One more problem. (49) integral x is equal to 0 to pi by 4 sin x cos x into dx. Integral x to integral 0 to pi by 4 sin x cos x dx is equal to how much? That is the question they asked. Directly, integral of sin x cos x value, integral of sin x cos x dx value is not there. Suppose if you are having integral sin x dx, then we can write minus cos x. If you are having integral cos x dx, we can write sin x. Or integral cos 2x, we can write sin 2x by 2. In such a way, we can write. But we don't have directly integral sin x cos x. We have to change that sin x cos x into a single function. There are two terms, sin x and cos x. There are two terms. We have to write in single term. Okay, single term means already we know sin 2 theta is equal to 2 sin theta cos theta, no? Similarly, sin 2x is equal to 2 sin x into cos x. We can write now. Sin 2 theta or sin 2a is equal to 2 sin a cos a. Already I said in our trigonometric formulas, you see. You go through trigonometric formulas. In the trigonometric formulas, I said sin 2x is equal to 2 sin x cos x. Of course, there I wrote sin 2a is equal to 2 sin a cos a, I wrote. Here as x is there, in terms of x I wrote sin 2x is equal to 2 sin x cos x. From this, What about sin x cos x? So integral 0 to pi by 4. Sin x cos x can be written as sin 2x by 2, no? Into dx, as it is you write. That's all. So 1 by, here 2 is constant, you write outside, into integral sin 2x dx. What is integral sin 2x dx? Integral sin 2x dx means minus first integration of sin x dx means minus cos x. Similarly here, integral sin 2x dx means minus cos 2x by, here coefficient of x is 2. That's why by 2 we have to write. Limits 0 to pi by 4. If limits are there means definitely they are the values of x. So this is equal to, we can write 2 outside so that we can have 1 by 4 into minus cos. First upper limit you have to substitute 2 into pi by 4. Instead of x you have to pi by 4. Before substituting lower limit you put minus sign. Already minus, here existing minus. So plus into cos 2 into x means 0. Already 2 is multiplied with 2 here. Okay. Now this is equal to 1 by 4 into minus 2 2s are minus cos pi by 2 means cos 90 is 0. Cos 2 into 0 means 0. Cos 0 1. So you write plus 1 only, no? Plus 1. So therefore this value is equal to 1 by 4. So integral sin x cos x dx, limit between the limits x equal 0 to pi by 4 is 1 by 4. In this way you have to do. Okay. Next. What about integral of x to the power of minus 1 dx? Integral of x to the power of minus 1 dx is how much? Integral x to the power of minus 1 dx. You will get some indefinite form. You will get indefinite form. But this can be written like this, no? Integral x to the power of minus 1 dx means if you do directly x to the power of minus 1 plus 1 by minus 1 plus 1 means you will get some indefinite form. But it can be written as integral of 1 by x into dx, no? Already integral 1 by x dx means already we are having formula ln x, no? So this is equal to ln x, as it is the indefinite integration plus c we have to write. But in given options only ln x 1 by, here you see 1 by ln x ln x square ln 1 by x, like that it is given. So integration constant is not given in any option. That's why in the given options, which one is the best approximation means ln x. That's why here it is mentioned that instead of ln x he wrote log x base c, he wrote. So it is also correct only, no? Okay, right, this is one more. Next, what about integral ex dx? Integral e to the power of x dx. Integral of e to the power of x dx is how much? Already I said in the formulas, integral of e to the power of x dx means e to the power of x only. Okay, e to the power of x only. Integral cos nx dx. Integral cos nx dx. Integral cos nx dx. Integral cos 2x dx already we know. So integral cos nx dx. Cos nx means we can write integral cos nx dx means we can write sin nx. As coefficient of x is n there, sin nx by n we have to write. Okay, sin nx by n. So in this way, these are the some important problems in this. So here, suppose if any student is absent, you ask your friend and you ask him to send the some snapshots of the completed topics to you, whatever they are not in the YouTube. Okay, and you have to revise them. Some problems already we discussed whenever differentiation topic was completed previously, not yesterday, before yesterday, whenever it was completed, at that time I said some examples also. Okay, those examples are not covered to the some of the people. That's why if you are having friends in this class, in this section, you ask them and you ask them to send the some snapshots to you so that you can revise them. Okay, right. From today onwards, I try to put in YouTube. Okay, now today we have to start new lesson. Now we enter into the, with this topic, with this new chapter, we will enter into the intermediate first year syllabus. Of course, these are covered in our previous standards. Okay, units and dimensions. New chapter, units and dimensions. Units and dimensions. Very, very important topic. Of course, it is silly, simple topic, not much important, but every point in the remaining chapters, definitely we need units for every quantity. Okay, whatever the dimensions we had to discuss. Okay, new chapter, yeah, it is in our syllabus, first year intermediate syllabus. Already these were covered in our previous standards, I think. Okay, we recollect them here. First of all, in this chapter, for various physical quantities, we have to discuss the units. Already, length is measured in meters or in centimeters. Meter, centimeter is the unit, no? In this way, for various physical quantities, we have to discuss the units. Similarly, what about dimension formula? We will see. Okay. So first, before starting this units and dimension, for various physical quantities, the unit. What is the unit of force? What is the unit of force? Newton. What is the unit of length? In SI system, what is the unit of length? Meter. Okay, that means various physical quantities, and the various physical quantities, and the units of various physical quantities. Okay, now I am asking the one of the students here, Micromax P702. His name is Micromax P702. He has no name. He wrote MP. You are having your name now. Good name. You have to write your name so that I can identify them. Okay, Micromax P702. You respond. Of course, Micromax cannot respond. The people who operating that Micromax, you respond. Come on, Madan. Okay, Madan. Madan, you respond.
Yes, sir.
You respond. What is the physical quantity?
The physical quantities are fundamental quantities, sir.
Fundamental quantity means these are the types of physical quantities, not physical quantity.
Yes, sir.
Do you know what is length? Do you know length? Have you heard?
Yes, sir.
Mass, time,
yes, sir.
force,
yes, sir.
acceleration, velocity. Everyone you heard, no?
Yes, sir.
These all are called as physical quantities, no?
Yes, sir.
I am asking in general, what is the physical quantity? What is the physical quantity? I am asking.
The physical quantities means which can be measured, sir.
Physical quantity, I think. Physical quantity, which can be
used to measure.
Okay. Here, physical quantity means the measurable property of any object or any body in nature. In general, most generalized definition is the measured property of any object or body in nature. That means in nature. Here you see, in nature, here you see the pen marker. From this end to this end, we can measure the length, no? We can measure the dimension. We can take the dimensions from this end to this end, no? That is called length. So length is one physical quantity. It occurred in nature. Similarly, the mass of the body can be measured. That occurred in nature. Weight of our body we can measure. That's why weight is a physical quantity. Okay, length, mass, time. These all are the different measurable properties in nature. Okay, all these measurable properties in nature are called the physical quantities. Okay, based on dependency of the one physical quantity on the other, physical quantities are classified into two types. Based on the dependence of one physical quantity on the other, the physical quantities are classified into two types. Okay, now fundamental quantity and tell me fundamental quantity and derived quantity. Okay, so first we discussed the physical quantity. Physical quantity. So physical quantity means any measurable property in nature. Measurable property in nature, measurable property of any body in nature is called the physical quantity. Okay, in these physical quantities, some physical quantities depends on the other, some does not depends on the others. So based on dependence of one physical quantity on the other, they are again divided into two types mainly. Okay, they are first one fundamental quantity or fundamental quantities. Fundamental quantity. Okay, fundamental here, whatever the physical quantity example, we can write example, we can write length, mass, time, force, acceleration, velocity. All these are physical quantities now. All these are physical quantities. Okay, mass, acceleration, torque, work done, kinetic energy, potential energy, momentum. All these are various physical quantities. Okay, now fundamental quantities means the physical quantity which does not depends on the fundamental, the physical quantity which does not depends on any other physical quantity. The physical quantity which does not depends on any other physical quantity. Okay, such type of physical quantity is called the fundamental quantity. So for example, you take the length, it does not depends on the other. Mass does not depends on the other. Time does not depends on the other. Electric current, okay, temperature, these does not depends on the other. That's why these all treated as the fundamental quantities. Okay, so what are the fundamental quantities means we can write example length, mass, time, electric current, we know electric current. Next, temperature, or it is also called as the thermodynamic temperature. Quantity of matter, in chemistry you measure in moles now. Quantity of matter, it is measured in moles. Quantity of matter. Illuminating power means intensity of the light. That illuminating power is measured in candela in SI system. So illuminating power, if any bulb is having more illuminating power means the intensity of the light is more. The intensity of light is more. If illuminating power is less means the brightness produced by that light is less. That means illuminating power gives the brightness of the light produced by that bulb. Okay, that illuminating power, etc. In this way, there are different physical quantities are there, which does not depends on the other. The other physical quantities depends on these, but these does not depends on the other physical quantities. That's why these are called fundamental quantities. So I think you are clarified about what is the fundamental quantity. Okay. So next, the physical quantities which depends on fundamental quantities, they are called derived quantities. Or the physical quantities which can be derived from fundamental quantities, they are called the physical quantities which can be derived from the other physical quantities, they are called the derived quantities. The physical quantities which can be derived from the other physical quantities, they are called the derived quantities. Okay, the units of fundamental quantities are called fundamental units. The units of fundamental quantities are called fundamental units. Whatever the example, fundamental quantities are, you know, length. The unit of this length is meter or centimeter. We can write meter, centimeter. Mass means gram or kilogram. Time, second. Electric current means ampere. Temperature, Kelvin or centigrade scale, centigrade. Quantity of mass is mole. Illuminating power means candela. All these are the fundamental units because these are the units of the fundamental quantities. That's why all the units of these fundamental quantities are called fundamental units. So these are the fundamental units. Next, what about the derived quantity? Derived quantity. So the physical quantity which can be derived from the fundamental quantities are the physical quantities which depends on the fundamental quantities. They are called the derived quantities. So what are the examples for derived quantities means? We can write speed, velocity, acceleration, linear momentum or simply momentum, force, we can write force, work, kinetic energy, potential energy, kinetic energy, potential energy, in this way, and so on. In this way, we can say number of examples for frequency. We can say frequency is that is also derived quantity. So in this way, we can write number of derived quantities. The units of derived quantities are called derived units. So here, what is the unit of the speed or velocity in the SI system? Meter per second. So meter per second is the derived unit. Similarly, work means joule, force means Newton. All these are the derived units because the derived quantity speed or velocity is having unit meter per second. No, meter is the fundamental unit. Second is the fundamental unit. That means the unit which can be derived from fundamental units, that is also called as the derived unit. That is also called as the derived unit. Okay. That is also called as the derived unit. So in this way, the physical quantities are mainly classified into two types: fundamental quantities and derived quantities. Okay, the units of derived quantities are called derived units. Okay, now in case of fundamental quantities, to measure the fundamental quantities, different systems are introduced. To measure the fundamental quantities, we need the unit of that quantity. So now, what is the unit? What is the unit? To measure any physical quantity, suppose if you want to measure the length of this marker, okay, with the help of the scale, we can measure the length of the marker now. On that scale, here in centimeter, scale is graduated now. Scale is graduated on the scale now. So in centimeter or millimeter, the scale is graduated now. Okay. So to measure, suppose here you see one example, length of the wire. This length of the wire is to be measured. Suppose they ask to measure the length of the wire in centimeter. They asked to measure the length of the wire in centimeter. Okay. So here, suppose if anybody is having this much length, anybody is having this much length, that can be treated as if anybody is having this much length, that is treated as a standard quantity, and to measure any physical quantity, a standard of the same quantity is required. Standard of the same quantity means, suppose if you want to measure the length of the wire, the standard of the same length is required. So what is the standard of the same quantity? Suppose this length is treated as a centimeter. Centimeter is the standard quantity. How we will get the standard quantity? Suppose if this length of the body is treated as a centimeter, and moreover, it must be accepted by every country in the world. Universally accepted length, that is called the standard quantity. If anybody is having this much length, that is treated as a centimeter. So wherever you go in the world, this length is considered as centimeter only. Suppose from Vijayawada to Guntur, whatever the distance, that length is considered as centimeter. Of course, now we know the in kilometers, but at earlier stage, if that length is considered as centimeter, then that much length is considered as centimeter only, if it is accepted internationally. But here, internationally, if anybody is having this approximately this much length, that is treated as a centimeter. That means internationally it is accepted standard length. This is called as centimeter. So this standard quantity which is accepted internationally is called the unit. So to measure any physical quantity, a standard of the same quantity is required. Suppose if you want to measure the length of the wire, if you are having a thermometer, can we measure? Because that gives in centigrade scale or Kelvin scale. So there is no use. Okay, to measure any physical quantity, the standard of the same quantity is required. Suppose if you want to measure the length of the wire, this is the length of the wire L. To measure the length of the wire, the standard quantity of same length is required. So the standard quantity of same length is centimeter. So this is the standard quantity. To measure the length, we need the standard quantity centimeter or meter. or foot. Then we can measure. Now to measure the length of this wire means how many times the standard quantity contained in the given wire. This is one standard quantity, up to this one standard quantity, up to this one more standard quantity, up to this one standard quantity. So how many times the standard quantity contained in the given length? 1, 2, 3, 4. 4 times is there. That's why the length of the given wire is equal to 4 times the standard quantity means centimeter. So 4 centimeter. The length of this wire is considered as 4 centimeter. Now the length of this wire is considered as 4 centimeter. Okay, in this way, to measure any physical quantity, the standard of the same quantity is essential or required, and which is called the unit. Okay, now the length of the wire is measured as length. Length is equal to 4 centimeter. Here, length means it is the physical quantity which is measured. It is the measurement. So length measurement is equal to 4 centimeter, in which 4 is the how many times the standard quantity or unit contained in the given quantity, that is the number. So it is called magnitude. Okay, here this is called unit. So here this number 4 represents how many times standard quantity contained in the given quantity, and this centimeter is the standard quantity which is called unit. So to take the measurement of any physical quantity, we need these two. The product of these two is the measurement. The product of these two is the measurement. Suppose here it is in this way, 100 times this standard quantity centimeter is 100 times in the given wire. That's why the total length is considered as 100 centimeter. Now you write 100 centimeter. This 100 is the magnitude and centimeter is the unit. Okay, therefore, if you take any measurement of length, that is equal to 100 centimeter. Suppose if you want to express this in meter, 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, no? 100 centimeter is equal to 1 meter, no? So this is equal to 1 meter. Is there any difference between 100 centimeter and 1 meter? Is there any difference between 100 centimeter and 1 meter? No. That means this measurement is same. These two are same. But it is measured in CS system. It is measured in SI system. Here in CS system, the magnitude 100 is say N1. The unit is say U1. In SI system, SI system is meters. In SI system, the magnitude is say N2 and unit is say U2. If you measure the given physical quantity length, if you take the measurement of a given physical quantity length in any system, that measurement does not alter. So measurement remains same. That's why N1 U1 is equal to N2 U2. Or in general, the magnitude is N and the standard quantity unit is U. The product of these two remains constant for any measurement. So for any measurement, N into U is equal to constant. Or N is inversely proportional to U. If unit is smaller, U is smaller, magnitude is more. If unit is larger, magnitude will be less. You see here, same measurement is measured in centimeter and in meter. Meter is the large unit. When unit is large, the magnitude will be less. So it is here 1 is only there, magnitude. If unit is smaller, that means when U is small, magnitude will be more. So N is more, isn't it? That's why the magnitude is inversely proportional to the unit. Okay. So this is the relation between unit and magnitude. Next. To measure the different physical quantities, first of all, to measure the different fundamental quantities, different systems are introduced. CS system, MK system, FPS system, like that. Okay. To measure, of course, time is 10:27. If I start the topic, it will not be covered, I think. Okay, next class, I will cover them. Okay. So up to I sent the assignments in which it consists of problems related to differentiation and integration. Today you have to complete them. Tomorrow I will complete the units and emissions topic, and next day I will start the new topic, vectors. Okay. So today you have to complete. Today you read total whatever the topics I have covered in basic mathematics. You have completed them, and you have to do the whatever the homework problems or assignment I have given. You have to complete all this. Today you do, you feel as responsible and you do. You don't feel that it is the duty. You don't feel that it is the, to complete the homework is not your duty. You feel as responsibility and then you complete. Okay. Have a nice day, Nana. I'm signing out.